Today we're going to be talking about rabbit holes. Personally, I think I've been in a rabbit hole for a long time myself. Seems like reality is more like a distortion, something that's warped, bended, curved, entangled together. Much intertwined interactions. Just like I've talked before about the three spatial dimensions and its relationship with the temporal dimension, we ourselves are anatomical pieces of machinery that require fine tuning of specific variables relative to continue our assumed sentience. And these variables are plain, I suppose: thirst, hunger, sleep, and reproductive desires. It's kind of like a prison. Our eyeballs are bounded to our skull unless forcibly removed. Why I want to talk about this is because of a certain story by Lewis Carroll. More or less, I kind of grew up on the cartoon. It's called Alice in Wonderland. I was really, really young when I watched this movie. But now that I'm older, I have more or less made perhaps some connections of making sense or being able to reason the story, making my own interpretation of the story. Why I removed most of my videos is because they're just coal. But to put it simply, it's not easy to describe anything anymore. Simply what does anything matter anymore, right? Um, and I'm just thinking about, you know, the things that exist out there in the quote unquote real world. And I'd also like to make a thought to, the city of Los Angeles. Um, I'd say downtown LA is full of criminality, and the justice system is purposely, by design, being mimicked to construct no man's land. On the surface, the city looks fine, and it's pretty nice. There's buildings there. But at dark, I'm sure there's many things that happen, such as drug addicts, alcoholics, um, gangsters, gang bangers, serial killers, rapists, pedophiles, and drug dealers. It really is a rabbit hole in itself. These major cities and stuff like that. There's a 14-year-old girl who was shot recently around that place. And, just death does not discriminate. Death is, everybody eventually has their time to play chess with death. Um, you know, if you want to know about my situation currently, I decided that have to drop out of high school. I mean, my mental health was horribly deteriorating. Like I had these thoughts of, you know, killing other people and setting fire to my high school. That environment is not a place you want to be in for a very long time. And my mental health has gone up a lot better since I left high school. And currently I'm looking for employment. And I have two places that I want to try out. Um, I'm not going to be too detailed because saying certain information will most likely give people with bad intentions to figure out where I live or where I am or whatnot. And, it's just the reality of the situation. The people that watch your videos are most likely probably not going to do good for you or help you. I mean, it's the internet. Everything you share here stays here. But some people utilize this system of information to their own advantage for any malicious intent or any malicious purpose, quote unquote. But, yeah, it's been a rabbit hole. I mean, I had many cigarettes. Ah, many cigarettes and just you know, thinking about nothing recently. Sometimes I kind of wish that I can just, crack open a cherry Pepsi and, smoke a cigarette and realize that one day I'm just going to die. And, you know, did I ever really do anything of significance, anything of importance? And does it matter? It probably doesn't matter. It really probably doesn't. Because if you look at the big picture, eventually all of us are really just going to die. And from there on out, once humanity is extinct, the universe, beyond the universe, the planets, the stars, the galaxies, all that, it's just gonna change in terms of frequency. And from there on out, we're not gonna be there to experience that. After having cheesecake, cigarettes, and coffee, I realized that life is short, life is meaningless, and there's a lot of nihilism in today's generation. And there's a lot of hate, suffering, pain, and loneliness for some people. Some souls are truly trapped in this place called life. Continuity is not guaranteed, you know? Sm- Non smokers die every day. I like smoking. I'm aware that it's harmful. I kind of just don't care. Till it's too late, right? Then I'll be counting my blessings. Sometimes I want to cross out the word my, I, me, and just become formless, shapeless. Just not exist. It's much more nicer to not exist. Why be there in the moment? Problems come to you in this world, and people can be problems. What's a problem? Who knows? Google it. Joogle it. But I really do feel like Alice in Wonderland. My life's just been a rabbit hole. It's just been broken mirrors and endless, thoughtless. turbulences within my thought process. I really am just energy dancing at a certain frequency here. But, sometimes I do wonder what the point of any of this really is. There might be a point, there might not be a point, but one thing is certain is that everybody dies in the end. Yep. Can't please anybody. If you believe in God, you get killed. If you don't believe in God, you get killed. If you can't make up your mind, you get killed. Replace belief in God with opinion, with thought. Hell, just doing nothing will get you killed. Doing something gets you killed. Saying, thinking, all of that gets you killed. And all for what? It's a joke. It really is a joke. Um, I don't know. It's also tiresome, to be honest with you. It really is tiresome. Excuse me. But Alice in Wonderland, you know, many interpretations. The deeper you go into the rabbit hole, the more insanity becomes, relevance, prevalent, spontaneous. I really wanted to one time, and I still kind of do, want to lose my mind and come snap out of that insanity from forced, um, self-inducing insanity, and then snapping myself out of that loop to sanity. But it's interesting. I mean, the word sanity and insanity. What other people might call insanity might be sanity to someone else. So, what basis does it have in reality? And what is reality? No one has defined reality. We really can't. We cannot. Am I unifying the universal interpretation by saying we cannot, including your bunch of sentience? But yeah, it's like it's a rabbit hole. I mean, I was in Los Angeles. I was in. I was walking by, and you know what I realized? There was a lot of homeless. There was a lot of homeless. Um, there was gangsters, I guess, but I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I'm glad I was not sexually assaulted, but still, it says a lot. It really does. It's just, it's depressing. At least that part of Los Angeles. I mean, Los Angeles is just a dangerous city in general, but um, yeah, rabbit holes and broken mirrors. It's a checkered floor that I'm standing on, some plane, undefined plane. But yeah, it's the deeper you go into the rabbit hole, I don't know how much more sense things become. You start saying things like cheese pizza, serpents of Bohemian Grove, worshipping Baphomet. You know, how much in tune the frequency do I have with basis of interpreting reality? The party kind of fell off in a sense of its greatness that it once had. It really has become just somewhere you just don't want to be. I mean, some people on there are just just bad, just bad energy. It's just there's no point in being there. I don't know. It's just try to be calm. I know I'm gonna die one day. I wake up in the middle of the night and I tell myself, I'm gonna die one day. Wow, that's not good. Well, that's just my genetic talking, right? Right, right. And I look at these YouTube videos, and these retards, they have millions of views over stupid topics. While I'm here trying to say something, real, meaningful, pointful, full of points. Get me? And now it's just my channel's dead. I mean, YouTube is one of the worst ways to even have an income. And I would never do this for a living. But I do like to try and talk. You know, maybe my voice guides somebody in the right direction. I'm not 100% screwed. I have options, and I'm already currently working on those options, but I could just die and nothing works out. You get me? Well, I love you all, so take care and good night.